All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Marlie's Corner. First of all, I hope everybody had a safe, fun, happy 4th of July weekend. I know we did, so unfortunately we didn't do the show last week just because of the weekend, but we're back. And this week we have an amazing guest and show. In general, we have a certified dog trainer named Kiley Kelly. She has an amazing story of how she became a dog trainer and her kind of psychology around training dogs. So we're super excited to talk to her today. But before we get into that, welcome everybody. This is our weekly Instagram show called Marlie's Corner, where we come to you live from the paw.com offices in Marlie's favorite spot. She gets to look out the window. As you see, she just got very distracted. And we talk everything pets and meet interesting, cool people in the pet community. As usual, we are giving away a $50 gift card. So please leave a comment or a question in the box below, and we'll be choosing the winner after the video. So without further ado, Kiley Kelly, if you haven't checked her out, her Instagram is doggoexpertnyc. Really super cool content, but let's get into it. Hopefully we can get her live here and get Marlie back up into her corner. Come here. You gotta entice her with the bones. All right, let's see here. There she is.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Kiley.
Hi. Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, we see
All right,
you
I got
just fine.
Chanel and I've got Brax here too. That's
Oh,
Brax.
hello.
That's Chanel. Chanel, say hi. There she is.
Super cute. You know, people come to see what you have to say, but really they just want to see the dog.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. I got a chance to read a little bit about your story, but for all of those watching that may not know you or your Instagram account, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. All right. So I am originally from Southern West Virginia. That's where I think my love of dogs kind of happened. I was bitten in the face when I was 4 years old by a stray dog, and they unfortunately had to put that dog down. And I think that's where my compassion grew for rescue. And as soon as I was old enough, I started volunteering at rescues and different shelters, and which led me to my career in South Florida. I was actually volunteering at a pit bull rescue. And there was a trainer there that was helping the volunteers learn how to handle their leash better in hopes to get these dogs adopted out easier. Because, you know, if dogs have been cooped up kind of in a kennel and, you know, somebody wants to go say hi, they're just wild. So they were trying to teach us how to, you know, calm them down through the leash. And right then and there, a light bulb kind of went off, and I was like, this is how I can actually save dogs. And I went to a school a few years later, a wonderful school called Lorenzo's Dog Training Team, where it's extremely hands-on. You work with every breed, size, temperament, and from there you have continued education. And I've trained probably over 300 dogs, and yeah, I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
That's amazing. It's incredible, and we've seen this on Marlie's Corner from talking to other guests, how you can turn such a traumatic experience into something so fulfilling. Turns into a life journey. So I can't imagine what it was like, your 4-year-old self getting into that experience, but at least something positive came out of it, and you're okay now, and you're doing some wonderful things for our best.
Yeah, it never fazed me. I mean, it scared my mother to death, but it never fazed me to, you know, I was never scared of dogs after that. If anything, it really heightened my sense and my curiosity of the species. So.
Wow. And on that note, I can imagine in terms of dog training, it comes down to a lot of trust between the human and the pet. As a pet parent, what can you do with your dog to build more trust in that relationship?
That's a really good question. I think one of the biggest things is try to steer clear of humanizing them. I think a lot of people do that, and it's okay to spoil your dog. It's okay to understand that they do have emotion, but they don't think like humans. So, creating boundaries, working with them, obedience, a lot of people want to give them, a tremendous amount of freedom and, lack of boundaries and let them do what they want. But when we think about it, dogs descend from wolves. Wolves are pack animals. So they thrive on leadership and structure. That's how they thrive. So if you're not leading, then they're leading. And that's kind of where, they get into trouble and problems arise. But they do it just by instinct. So it's not necessarily their fault, but then we become frustrated. So the best thing I can, say is, learn how to communicate in a way that they understand more or less than you do.
Right. No, it totally makes sense. I think you can apply that to humans too, in some cases.
Absolutely. Everybody needs structure and regimen.
Yeah.
Dogs just, they really thrive on it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I know you also, from looking at your accounts, you have a toddler and two dogs that we met. How do they get along, and do you have any advice for people who are introducing a baby to a dog, or maybe a dog to a baby, that kind of connection? Can you maybe help somebody out who's in that process?
I would love to help people that are in that process. I think one of the biggest things that I see so often is people rush things. And if you have a new baby, we brought something that smelled like our baby home to our dog and let her start, becoming familiar of the scent. And then once we brought our daughter home, we still didn't allow them to meet right at first. We allowed them to coexist. And this lasted for a week or two. I have a bully breed, and any dog is a powerful dog, and they don't understand boundaries, and certainly babies don't understand boundaries. So it's really our job, once again, to take that lead and establish those boundaries until we can fully trust that, our dog won't accidentally, run into our baby or knock our baby over, just doing things that they don't mean to do by taking lead. So, and the same goes for other dogs as well. Especially if you have an older dog that's accustomed to living a certain way in their household, and you want to bring a new dog in, they don't have to instantly, hang out and play and fight all day, every day. Like, let them coexist and keep the process short and sweet at first. And then again, once you're comfortable and once they're comfortable, then there's a lot more trust built that way. But I think that's one of the biggest things is people want to rush things, and you're gonna have those beautiful relationships for hopefully years and years and years. So there's no reason to really rush them.
And Kylie, when you say coexist, how do you mean? Like, what kind of tips can you give somebody to allow them to be in the same space? But I'm assuming some sort of separation or barriers. What do you mean by that?
So there's a couple different ways. You can always do, barriers, gates, things like that. I'm really big, if we're talking puppies, bringing a new puppy home and you have an older dog, I'm really big on starting to leash train very early. And what I mean by that is keeping a leash on the puppy even inside the home. So that's your tool. If your puppy's becoming a little too, annoying for your older dog and it's starting to, make your older dog upset, you have a way to kind of pull them back. And the same with the children. A lot of children, especially under the ages of 7, everybody wants a puppy. All the kids want a puppy, but they get this puppy and the puppy's a lot, energetic, and then they start play biting. So again, it's really our job to, either tether the puppy while you're around a supervised, somewhere away from the child or the other dog where they can kind of share the same space, but they don't have the option of jumping on top of them and being all over them. And just kind of learning to just chill in the environment and understanding that it's, it's our environment that we all share together.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I have a personal question. How do you stop a French bulldog from running around and around the pool while people are swimming inside of it?
Marlie?
That's Marlie, yeah, because
It's
something new to us, and she's freaking out. and I want to calm her down. And I thought maybe you've experienced that before.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that a lot. It's anxiety, and they're definitely worried that something's going to happen. And again, they're taking that lead like it's their job to rescue you. So the best way to do that, and I've gotten that a lot lately, especially since it's summer, but to teach them how to hold a downstay. I love boundaries. I love the downstay command because not only does it just prevent them from acting crazy, it's almost therapeutic in a way. They can just learn to relax and enjoy the scenery and understand and trust that you've got it. It's okay. You know, whoever's in the pool is okay. So it's a healthy balance for them mentally as well.
Yeah,
so really work the downstay command. That's my advice.
Well, we're gonna have to do some training on that one because she's losing it to the point where she's hurting her
paws. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she's just going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to learn the downstay.
Yeah, you need a trainer.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
Jeff,
I have a couple clients whose their dogs have like ripped the bottoms of their paws off.
Yeah, it's awful. I feel so bad because she's kind of walking. She's better now, but the last couple of days she's walking, all funny. She's limping a little bit. I've been cleaning her paws all day. She doesn't love that, but hopefully we can get her settled down.
Until then, you can get her those little doggy shoes too.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
That's not
cool. You need to get Crocs.
Crocs.
Yeah, Frenchie Crocs. That would be awesome.
So we have a couple.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions.
If you don't mind, a couple questions from the viewers.
So someone asked, what breed do you find most challenging to train?
Oof, that's a good one. There are a few. I want to say probably Jack Russell Terrier might be my number one. They can be really challenging. And then, I don't know. You stumped me there. I guess it just means in terms of what you want trained for. Just regular obedience. Jack Russells, I feel, can be challenging. Terriers in general. And then some of the toy breeds are a little challenging because people tend to really humanize them because they're cute. They look like stuffed animals. So they can be a little bit on the challenging side to try to train. Or maybe let me retract that. Maybe the humans are challenging on that side to train.
Well, that says something for that show. Remember the little Jack Russell?
Let's
start with that.
With what's his name? Yes, the sitcom had the little Jack Russell.
Yeah, there was a show with the Jack.
With Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, he was the star, but the name escapes me right now. So
any of your high-driven, like super high-driven working breeds, they're fun to train, but they're a lot. So you have to kind of understand the breed that you're getting and educate the owner in like how much stimulation that dog needs and requires to really make the whole relationship successful.
Awesome.
Now, someone had a cat question. Do you train cats too?
No cats, no men.
Okay. Well, we'll skip the cat question then. Someone else asked, how do you stop your dog from pulling on the leash? My dog pulls on the leash all the time.
That's a good question. There's a few different ways. I would say hire a trainer. There's no specific universal way. Depends on the dog, depends on the strength. I would really probably recommend working inside the home and then slowly distancing yourself outside the home before you get into the high distraction areas. So, inside, then maybe out back, when you can really have the attention, and then in the driveway, and then slowly start working your way out.
That's great. I've got a question myself. Many, many years ago, I hired a dog trainer for one of our dogs, and he used to tell us to talk to the dog and real mushy, hey, come on, just talk like a real mushy, sing-songy baby talk. And I wondered if there's any actual validity to that, or if he was just, selling us a bill of goods to do that all the time.
That's actually a really good question, and it's situational. So when you want a dog, and it depends on the dog too, and it depends on the balance of a dog. If you have an aggressive dog, or a really stubborn dog, I wouldn't probably do that. I'd be a little bit more assertive. But, when you're dealing with puppies, it's great to be motivational, and again, it depends on the personality of the dog. Some dogs work really well through that motivational, the ooh, and then some dogs work really well through no, come, or sit and stay and a little bit more assertiveness.
See, I got a hybrid model with Marley.
Yeah.
I can't escape the mushy, but sometimes she acts up, and I gotta.
Frenchies can be very stubborn. I love the breed. I've trained a lot of Frenchies.
Oh yeah, I know.
This is an interesting question, and you may not be able to answer because it is sort of about training people, but I thought it was a good question because I've experienced it myself. How do you train people not to be scared of bully breeds? And maybe the converse of that is, how do you keep your bully breed from scaring people? I don't know. I thought that was interesting because my daughter has a pit bull, Iris, the one-eyed wonder. She has one eye. And I remember just walking her when my daughter lived with me. I'd be walking Iris, and people in the neighborhood would freak out. Like one guy, we're on the other side of the street walking along, minding our own business, and he takes a look and he stops in his tracks and he goes, "A pit bull? Are you kidding me?" And he starts screaming at me. And it's like she wasn't barking at him or anything. We're just walking along, and just the fact that I was walking a pit bull freaked this guy out.
Incredible.
Any thoughts on that?
This is Chanel. So she's a pit bull. She looks really mean and scary. I think that it's education first and foremost, educating more about the breed, but also somebody that's going to have a very strong and powerful breed like that needs to know how to handle them. They need to go to formal training, whether it's a bully breed or any big, cane corso or a huge breed like that, needs to be properly trained, needs to be properly socialized. And I don't mean throw it in a dog park. If you're gonna own a very big, strong breed, then to help not feed into the stereotype, it's your job once again to take lead and make sure that they're not intimidating, because they can be very intimidating. They obviously don't have a great reputation, and people get these powerful breeds and they don't train them right, and then that doesn't help. So I've always been a huge advocate for the pit bulls and trying to educate and rescue and save, but people also need to understand what some breeds are capable of, and that they need maybe more training than others.
Yeah, because for the most part, they're smart, sweet dogs. I mean, Iris.
They're amazing. I mean, they're one of my favorite breeds to train. They're extremely loyal. They love to work. They're sweet. They're affectionate. But they are very strong and they're agile, and they were bred to have a high drive. So it's important that people understand that. And, if you're going to walk it down the street, then know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Here's a good question, I think. Can dogs really learn their names?
Yes. Of
Okay.
course. Why? Is Marley, does he have selective hearing?
Marley. Yeah,
she's out like a light.
She opened her eyes a little bit, and she's like,
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the biggest things in training is we always call the name first and then the command second, because the name's preparatory. It actually gets the attention.
We have one more. Can you train dogs to swim? That's an interesting question because I thought they swim naturally.
No, well, not all of them. You can. I mean, they might not love it, but if you do, and that is a good question. I appreciate whoever asked that, because a lot of people, they have pools and it's summertime and they're really eager to get their puppy to swim. I would recommend slowly, once again, very slowly, start at the first step and just start getting them used to it. And nothing needs to be rushed. Don't throw them in, because that can always have an adverse effect, and then they're traumatized and then they don't want to go in at all. So if you do that, start one day having them play around in this first step, and then slowly, inch by inch, see if they'll get in there.
That's awesome. Great tips, because we're in the process of building our pool. So Marley's not much of a swimmer, but we're going to try to get her in there very slowly. Maybe get a life jacket on her or something like that.
I saw this really cool. My friend has a really cool life jacket. It's a shark fin. So
yeah, I've seen those. Very cool. Well, Kylie, appreciate all the tips and stories and taking the time out to introduce your two fur babies. Marlie says thank you too, but she's fast asleep. But we appreciate you and thank you for coming on and sharing everything today.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
All right, and for everybody, if you haven't checked out Kiley's Instagram account already, it's Doggo Expert NYC. Check it out. She has great content. You'll learn a lot. Thank you.
Yeah,
Enjoy the rest
happy
of
to
the
help,
Friday.
guys.
All right, we'll see
Bye.
you later. Here, I'll try to get there she is.
Bye, Marlie. Say bye, Chanel. Bye, Rex.
All right, guys, thank you.
Bye.